Yes, Jessica.
Jay, the president's raised millions of dollars from LGBT donors, many of whom say that they believe in a second term the president will come out in support of gay marriage. So doesn't he owe them, or owe voters in general, his direct response and just stop dancing around the issue and telling voters, will he or won't he support gay marriage in a second term?
The president was asked this and said that his views on, his personal views on this were evolving. The president does have, as you noted, significant support in the LGBT community, and that's because of his unparalleled record in support of LGBT rights. That includes the fight to repeal successfully Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It includes signing hate crimes legislation that includes LGBT persons. It includes ending the legal defense of the Defense of Marriage Act. It includes ensuring hospital visitation rights for LGBT patients and their loved ones, and I could go on. His record on LGBT rights is simply unparalleled, and he will continue to fight for those rights going forward.
Audience, everybody deserves to be able to live and love as they see fit. I don't have to tell the people in this room we've got a ways to go in the struggle. What is he referring to if not gay marriage?
Well, I think you have heard him say, and those in the administration like myself who speak for him, that he strongly opposes efforts to restrict rights, to repeal rights for same-sex couples. He has made his opposition to those efforts in various states known, and will continue to do so. I think it's a statement of obvious fact that full enjoyment of rights by LGBT citizens has not been achieved uniformly across the country, and that's why he has taken a stand on in opposition to efforts in some states to deny those rights and discriminate against LGBT citizens.
So can you explain then clearly how Vice President Biden, who has said there is a consensus building toward gay marriage in this nation, and then came out yesterday saying he is absolutely comfortable with men marrying men and women marrying women having equal rights, is not an endorsement of gay marriage?
Well, look, I think the Vice President expressed his personal views. He also said he was evolving on the issue. I think the description...
When did he say that?
Jay.
He did.
No, the spokesperson said that afterwards.
Let me just be clear, though. The Vice President made what he said about the protection of rights of citizens is completely consistent with the President's position on this issue. And his description of the way the country has moved on this issue, I think is wholly accurate. I think we all have seen the data that describes an evolution of views across the country on these issues. So I don't think there's anything surprising about him saying that.
You're going to have it both ways before an election.
No, look, this president has been extremely aggressive in supporting LGBT rights. He fought against those who opposed the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and achieved that in this administration. There are those who want to bring Don't Ask, Don't Tell back. He very robustly fights against efforts to restrict or deny or rights to LGBT citizens and discriminate against them, and he'll continue to do so. And again, you didn't want to hear it, but there's a long, long list of the actions that this administration has taken on behalf of LGBT citizens in this country. And that's a record that the president's very proud of. Jake.
I want to continue with Jessica's line, but before I do, I did want to see if the president had an opportunity to see the hostage video of Warren Weinstein, who has been taken hostage by Al-Qaeda, and made a direct plea to the president and referenced, a very personal plea, referenced his two daughters and the president's two daughters, if there was any response from the president, if he'd seen it, if he has a response.
Well, the president is aware of it. I do not believe he's seen it, or I do not know that he's seen it. We remain greatly concerned for Mr. Weinstein's safety and his well-being. Our hearts go out to him and his family. We condemn his kidnapping in the strongest terms and call for his immediate release. The U.S. government will continue making every effort to see Mr. Weinstein released safely to his family, but we cannot and will not negotiate with Al-Qaeda.
Okay. And back to the same-sex marriage issue. I think one of the issues is that when asked about the president's position, the president no longer says he is evolving on the issue. He says, I don't have any news to make on that. That's what Stephanie Cutter just a few minutes ago on cable said, I don't have any news for you. The suggestion is that there is news there and you guys are just waiting for the proper time to drop it. likely after November.
I think
And
that's your
it-
characterization, Jake. I think the president
I think that's what
said
the
that
term
he was
means.
evolving, and he had, I think when people have asked him that and he has no update to give them or no change in his views to put forward, that he's simply saying that I have nothing new for you on that. His position is what it was. And that's with regards to his personal views. What I think needs to be remembered here is what he has done in office in support of LGBT rights, and that record is extensive and considerable and unparalleled, and he'll continue to fight for those rights as long as he's in office.
All right. Positing that the president has done more for LGBT individuals than any other president in history. So you don't need to say that again. The question is, just for this question, when you get to Nora, whatever you want. But the question is, I think there are very few people who think that the president is not going to, after November, whether he's reelected or not, come out in favor of same-sex marriage. I think there are very few people on the president's campaign who doubt that, very few people who support the president, very few people who oppose the president who have any doubt that that is what is going to likely happen. And if that is the likely future of the president and this position, given that you don't have any news to drop on it, but probably his mind has been made up, why not just come out and say it and let voters decide? It seems cynical to hide this until after the election.
Jake, I think the president's position is well known. He's spoken to this. It's gotten a great deal of coverage. I don't have an update to provide you on the president's position. It is what it was. I'm sorry you don't want to hear about the president's support for LGBT rights, because it's considerable.
It's not that I don't want to hear it. I
But-
don't want
but
to hear the
seriously, I
same
think-
talking points 15 times in a row.
No, I think we're talking points to you, serious, substantial rights to others. Okay? Don't ask, don't tell. Repealing don't ask, don't tell is a serious matter. The efforts that this administration has taken on behalf of LGBT citizens are serious matters.
We're
But look,
talking about same-sex marriage.
I think that's the context of this discussion. I just don't have anything more to give to you on the issue of the president's
Because he's
views.
still evolving. Not because you don't have news for me. It's because he's still evolving.
It is as it was, yes. Nora.
Why does the president oppose same-sex marriage?
I would just point you to what the president has said in the past, both during his campaign for president in 2008 and in answer to a question at the end of 2010. I really don't have an update for you, Nora.
Is the president comfortable with the fact of men marrying men and women marrying women?
The president is comfortable with same-sex couples, as the vice president said, being entitled to the same rights and the civil rights and civil liberties as other Americans, and that's why he has fought for those equal rights and why he's opposed efforts to discriminate against LGBT citizens and to take away rights that have been established by law.
Biden, the vice president, appears to have evolved on the issue, but the president is still evolving. Is that a fair characterization?
You know, I will leave it to individuals to describe their own personal views. What I can explain to you is what the president's positions are on issues, the actions he has taken at a policy level on behalf of LGBT Americans, and his commitment to continue to take actions on their behalf to protect and defend their rights.
Let me ask you this. You have a number of Democratic governors throughout this country, Governor O'Malley, Governor Cuomo, Governor Malloy, to name a few, now the vice president, who all support same-sex marriage. Why doesn't President Obama support same-sex marriage?
I just don't have an update for you, Nora, on the president's position, on his personal views. I can tell you that he is a absolutely committed supporter of LGBT rights. His record bears that out. It is an unparalleled record of support for LGBT citizens and their rights, and he's proud of it, and he'll run on it. And I think that it's important to remember when we talk about those accomplishments under this administration, that they are far more than talking points. They are considerable, serious demonstrations of progress, important progress, progress that others would take away and reverse. This president's committed to not letting that happen.
When you, Jake, when
Yeah.
you now say the vice president is evolving, he did not say that, as it was pointed out, but he used some key words beyond what Nora just quoted. He also said that they are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. Does that mean he supports same-sex marriage? Because
I was pointing to this statement that the vice president's office put out yesterday, describing his statements, and I don't have any elaboration on that. I can tell you that what he said is completely consistent in that paragraph with the president's views that LGBT citizens should enjoy the same rights and that they should not be discriminated against. And efforts to take away those rights are something that this president strongly opposes.
But how come when the president proposes something like the American Jobs Act, you can name anything, and he says, he travels around the country and says, you're entitled to press members of Congress, tell them, are they for this or they're against it? Why can't you from this podium say whether or not the president supports or opposes same-sex marriage?
Well, I can tell you that the president has spoken about this and that his views have not changed, and I have no update to give you on them.